Hi, welcome to my video on volume practice number 1B. Number 1, find the volume of each, and we're going to find them to the nearest tenth of a cubic unit. Number 1A, we have a right cylinder, this is a right cylinder, and we have a diameter of 20 millimeters, and we have a height of 0.3 meters. So, first thing we do is change them all to the same unit. So we have millimeters and meters. So let's change. We have 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. So therefore, 0.03 meters is how many millimeters? So we could use ratio. So we have 1 meter to 1,000 millimeters is decimal, or let's go 0.03 to x. And when we cross multiply here, 1 times x is x, and 1,000 times decimal 0.3 is 3 places to the right, so that gives us 30. So decimal 0.3 meters is 30 millimeters. Now we have all the units. And we have a diameter, so the diameter is from right across here. So if the diameter is 20, what's the radius? So the diameter is twice the radius. So the diameter is 20, so 20 equals 2r. And we divide by 2, we get the radius as 10. Now we have a cylinder, so the volume of a cylinder is a base area times height. And the base area is a circle, so it's pi r squared h. So that's pi times the radius, which is 10 being squared, and the height in millimeters is 30. So if we go 3.14 times 100 times 30, it gives us approximately 9420. And again, this is approximately because pi is 3.14 as an estimation. If I use pi, I get probably a different answer. So this is in to the nearest tenth. So, but this is 3,000. So move the decimal 3 places. So we don't have to worry about rounding it up. It's already to the nearest unit. So that's millimeters cubed. Number 2, we have a cone. This is a cone shape, and we have the base of a cone is a circle, and we have this perpendicular from the top of the cone down to the middle of the base here. That's perpendicular, that's the height. And we have a circumference of 62.8 feet, and we have a height of 72 inches. So the height is 72, so 1 foot is 12 inches. That means that how many feet do you have in 72 inches? So 1 to 12 is x to 72. So cross multiply, and I get 12x is 72, and divide by 12. 72 divided by 12 is 6. So 72 inches is 6 feet. That means we have them all in the same unit now. I decided to enter them into feet. You could have them all in inches if you want. So we have the circumference. So to get the volume of a cone, volume of a cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder. So that's the volume is 1/3, and the base of the cone is a circle, so it's pi r squared times h. So we have a height, which is x. So the height, I'll write it here, is 6 feet. And we have pi to be 3.14. But we don't have a radius. So we have a circumference here. And circumference is 2 pi r. So the circumference is 62.8. And 2 times pi, which is 3.14 times r, so 62.8, and that's 6.28 equals r. So when you divide 6.28 into here, you will get, so that's 62.8 divided by 6.28, and that gives us a 10. So we have a radius of 10, so that's 10 being squared, and the height is 6. And when you multiply all this out, 3 into 6 goes 2, so we get 3.14 times 100 times 2, and that works out to be 628. And it's cubic, so it's cubic feet. So just twisting the problems around a bit to do some calculations. Hopefully you understand. And number 1C, a sphere has a radius of 3 centimeters. So a sphere is a ball, that's circular. So the volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cubed. So the volume is 4 over 3, pi is 3.14, and the radius is 3 being cubed. So that's, we can mark, that's 4 over 3, 3.14, and that's a 27, so 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 3 into 27 is 9, so we have 4 times 3.14 times 9, and that works out to be 113.04 if you use your calculator. And we've got to round it, we said, to the nearest tenth, so that's 100, to the nearest tenth is right here, 0. This is not fiberglass, so you can't round it up, so it's 113, and it's centimeters cubed. Centimeters cubed. Number 2. Find the volume of a square base pyramid. The units are yards. So this is a square base pyramid. So the base of the pyramid right here. This base is a square, and it's a square base pyramid. So what we have a slant height. So AH is a slant height of 5. BC is 8. So that's 8. Because it's a square base pyramid, so that means FC is 8. And to get the volume of the pyramid, so the volume of the pyramid is, the formula is, let's see, we have the volume is the 1/3 base area times height. So the volume of a square base pyramid is a square, so it's S squared times height. So because it's a square base, or it's a rectangular prism, but it's 1/3 of it, like the cone is 1/3 of a cylinder. So we have volume 1/3, and the base is 8. The side of the square is 8, but we don't have the height. So the height comes down perpendicular to the base, right in the middle, right there. So if this is 8 long, this is 8 going through here. So that means that this is 4. The slant height is 5, so that's a 5. So what we have is a perpendicular here. So A, let's say call that OH, is a right triangle. So we have C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So we want the height, so let's put H for the height there. So The hypotenuse is 5, opposite the right angle. This side OH is 4, and B we say is the height. So let's work this out. 25, 4 squared is 16, h squared. 25 minus 16 equals h squared. So that's 9 equals h squared. So the square root of 9, again, it could be plus minus, but in this grade, just do the square root of 9, which is 3. There could be two values here, but because it's geometry, because it's height, we only deal with the positive one. So that means the height is 3. So we cancel. 3's cancel out. So that gives us 64. And the units are yards. So it's, let's go CU this time, cubic yards. That's some done. And we have one more to do. And I made this one up a little tiny bit different. Number 3. 3 balls are placed in the box touching its sides. So there's 3 balls placed in the box touching its sides. So let's draw this box like this. So let's finish it off so you can see it. That's the rectangular box. And there's 3 balls placed inside. 1. You can have 3 tennis balls, whatever you want placed inside. So the balls are occupying this space, and the balls, every ball, this one is touching the back right here, touching this side here, touching the front, touching the bottom. So all the balls are just fitting into this box. The volume of each ball is 288 pi cubic centimeters. When the box is sealed, how much air is in the box, and to the nearest cubic centimeter. So we put the 3 balls in the box, we seal the box, so how much air is left in the box? Because remember, when you put the balls in, air is pushed out. So let's get the volume of the box, which is the amount of air in there, get the volume of the 3 balls and subtract them, and we should get the answer. So let's look at the volume of one ball. So one ball is 288 pi cubic centimeters. So that means that the ball is a sphere, so it's 4 over 3 pi r cubed. So that means the volume is 288 pi 4 over 3 pi r cubed. So what we could do, we want to eliminate the fractions. So let's multiply this side by 3 over 4, 288 pi. Multiply this side by 3 over 4, pi r cubed. So we multiply this side by the reciprocal and this side by the reciprocal. So they cancel out, the pi's cancel out, so I get an r cubed. So 4 into, or 3 times 288 divided by 4 gives 216. 206. So this is our cube. So this is the cube root now. Square root, we need 2. So we have 216. Let's work it down, and it's even. So let's divide by 2. We get 108. Divide by 2, and I get 54. Divide by 2, and I get 27. And 27, there's a 3 in there. So 3 nines makes 27, and 3 into 9 goes 3. So what we have is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. So what we really have is we have a 2 cubed times 3 cubed. Or we could say 8 times 27 in dealing with cubes. So we're dealing with cube roots. So this is the cube root of 216. So we could say it's the cube root of 2 cubed times 3 cubed. So there's r and r. So the cube root of 2 cubed is 2, and the cube root of 3 cubed is 3. So that means r is 6. So if we take 6 and multiply it by itself, 6 times 6 times 6 3 times, you'll get 216. Or look at another way, the cube root of 8 is 2, the cube root of 27 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6. So we have the radius of one of the balls 6. That means that through here, that's 6 from here to the middle, 6 here. So that means that that's a 12, and this one is a 12, and this one is a 12. So that means the length of this box is 12. From here to here is 36. So this ball is placed in here, no matter from here to here, would be a 12. And from top to bottom would be a 12, because the diameter of the ball is 12. So I didn't put that down. So the diameter is twice the radius. So the diameter is 2 times 6. So the diameter of the ball is 12. So that means that the box, so the volume of the box is length times width times height. So it's 36 times 12 times 12. 36 times 12 times 12. So that gives us, if you multiply that with a calculator, 5184. So let's get the volume of one of the balls. So the volume of one ball is 288 pi, right here. So 3 balls, spell this right, would be 3 times 288 pi. So that's 3 times 288 times 3.14. And when we multiply that out with a calculator, we get 2712.96. And again, because we use 3.14, this is approximate. So the volume of air that's in this box, so the volume of the air left in the box is the volume of the box minus the volume of the balls. So that's 5184 minus 271296. If you use your calculator, that comes out to be, again, this is approximate, so that comes out to be 2471.04. And we say we're going to round it to the nearest unit, so that becomes 2471. And that's cubic centimeters as a volume. So again, that's a review of volume to help you understand, or always review, because when you go in higher math, you need to know the volumes of each of these figures. And that brings us to the end of the video. And like all videos, if you like them, click on the like button, subscribe button. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. The content is on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.